Okay, we come to one of my favorite poems in this collection, Sing Song by Dalit Nagra. Daljit Nagra. Um, this is a poem that's just it's vocal. It's alive. It really shows that language is alive. That there's joy and character to this poem. There's a real humor, comedy to it. And comedy is a really overlooked but essential part of poetry, as it is in life. Um, the fun here of this character, the silliness, the shifts in tone from mockery to love and intimacy are all really important here. Again, it's another poem in dialect, like Checking Out My History, but this one's a bit tricky, I think. Is Nagra making fun of this speaker? Is this a mockery? Is this something like, is this racist? If he's not, if it isn't, what is it? Why use this slang, this idiolect, dialect, humor, wordplay? What does it tell us about this character? When I read a poem like this, it has to be read out loud, and when doing that, you have to be careful, of course, because Nagra is playing with you, that there's some of it that is mockery, and that you have to be okay with engaging with that part of yourself, and some of it is paying attention to the shifts in tone, of feelings that you weren't expecting. I'm Indian, or rather my parents are Indian, I'm Canadian, I live now in the UK, and this poem, I think, is a celebration of the mixture of cultures that happen in the UK as well. I think when you're reading a poem like this, again, it takes multiple readings, it takes outlined readings, it takes openness to things you may not understand, it takes stretching of your imagination to apply the things that you understand. So the things that you eat in a restaurant, like chapati and roti, chapati and chutney, may be things that you didn't necessarily think would show up in a poem, but here they are. I think the long line is really important to this poem. I think the occasional rhymes are fun and help add to the rhythm and the movement of the poem. I think the shifting tones are fantastic and bring an excitement and energy to what I think is available to you in poetry. And it's very important that, in contrast to some of the other more serious poems, again, Checking Out My History, that we also remember that poetry can be fun, and the voice and character in the poem can also be fun. Sing Song by Daljit Nagra. I run just one of my daddy's shops from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock, but he won't me not to have a break, but when nobody in, I do the lock. 'Cause up the stairs is my newly bride. We share in chapati, we share in the chutney after we have made love like we rowing through Putney. When I return with my pinny untied, the shoppers always point and cry, "Hey Singh, where you been? Your lemons are limes, your bananas are plantain. This dirty little floor need a little bit of mop in the worst Indian shop on the whole Indian road." Above my head, high heel tap the ground as my wife on the web is playing with the mouse. When she netting two cat on her Sikh lover site, she booked them for the meat and the cheese of her price. My bride, she effing at my mom in all the colors of Punjabi, then stumble like a drunk, making fun at my daddy. My bride, tiny eyes of a gun and the tummy of a teddy. My bride, she have a red crew cut and she wear a tartan sari, a donkey jacket and some pumps on the squeak of the girls that are pinching my sweeties. When I return from the tickle of me bride, the shoppers always point and cry, "Hey Singh, where you been? The milk is out of date and the bread is always stale. The things you have on offer you have never got in stock in the worst Indian shop on the whole Indian road." Late in the midnight hour,
When you shoppers are wrapped up quiet, when the precinct is concrete cool, we come down whispering stairs and sit on my silver stool. From behind the chocolate bars, we stare past the half-price window signs at the beaches of the UK in the brighty moon. From the stool each night she say, "How much do you charge for that moon, baby?" From the stool each night I say, "Is half the cost of you, baby." From the stool each night she say, "How much does that come to, baby?" From the stool each night I say, "Is priceless, baby."
This poem, Sing Song, is a poem about a man, a shop owner named Singh, and he runs one of his father's corner shops. And he's running it really poorly, and everyone's complaining about how all the produce is out of date, and it's the worst shop really on the whole of the Indian Road. And he's running it so poorly because he's a newlywed, and Singh is far more interested in being with his wife than running his shop. Um, his wife runs a website for Sikhs who seek love, and she's also characterized because she contrary to their, I guess, cultural tradition, she disrespects uh, uh, his mother and father. She drinks. She has the eyes of a gun, suggesting perhaps she can be violent sometimes. She the closest thing she has, her haircut is a crew cut. The closest thing she comes to kind of assimilation of the two cultures is a tartan sari, suggesting perhaps we're in Scotland. Um, and she comes off as a very funny character, and you can really tell that Singh really loves her. And the poem ends with a kind of a real shift in tone, which is the darkness and the nighttime, where these two characters get to spend time together intimately, both emotionally and the suggestion is sexually. Um, this poem is messy. It's sloppy. It's slang filled. It's silly, and it makes you think about love. And what love isn't just something very serious. It is messy, and it makes you crazy, and it helps exceed all the expectations of money and business and being respectable. And it's really about two people being together. Um, and I think this poem captures a lot of the madness of love, but also the ends with the ultimate intimacy between two people that can be love. And it's dislocated, culturally from a lot of people. But I think it gives you enough that it allows you to be within the little world that's created. And I don't think it's a mockery of this character. I think, like the title says, it is a song, it is a celebration of this character, while also having an ironic sense of humor, an ability to mock the character as well.